Good morning, my dear students. I'm here with class 7 English. The first lesson, three questions. First lesson, the three questions. Three questions. So, in this lesson, one king was there. He did not want to fail in his life. So, to not to fail in his life, he required the answer of these three questions. And what were these three questions? So the first question is, what is the right time to begin something? Which people should he listen to? What is the most important thing for him to do? These were the three questions that the king uh, mm, wanted the answer of this. The king, therefore, he sent many messengers throughout his kingdom, and he promising them a large sum of money, whoever uh, would answer these three questions. Then many wise men then came to the king, but they all answered differently. Some said in reply to the first questions, like the first question was, what is the right time to begin something? What is the right time to begin something? Like कब हमें कौन सा समय सही है कुछ भी करने के लिए. In reply to the first question, some said the king must prepare a timetable and then follow it strictly. Uh, only, only in this way uh, he could do everything at his proper time. If he if he prepare a timetable and follow that timetable very strictly, then only it is possible for him to do at its proper time. And some others they said it was impossible to decide in advance. If some other they were saying that it was very impossible to decide advance, because what it comes next, we don't know. We don't know what next it comes next. So that's why it was very difficult to prepare any timetable. And some are giving suggestion of preparing the uh, timetable, and some are not. The king therefore should notice all that was going on. The king therefore he should notice that was going on and avoid foolish pleasures. Whatever the foolish pleasures are there, he should avoid that one. And whatever seem necessary at that time, that work only he must do. Yet some others they are saying that the king needed a council of wise men. Council of wise men means many, the king they appoint many wise person um, in his office. They are called the council of ministers. So some are suggesting that he should appoint a wise man. So because king alone cannot decide correctly all the time, and at that time he can seek the help of that council of ministers. So some are suggesting that, but again some are saying that in an emergency uh, the king must have to decide at that time. He could not, he cannot go to the ministers and ask for their help. And this was impossible because one man would find it impossible uh, to decide correctly without help from others the right time for every actions. So but then some are others said that there were some things which could be urgent that time. These things could not wait for the decision of the king, sorry, decision of the council. So in order to decide the right time for doing something, it is necessary to look into the future. Some are suggesting for the future. So for the future means only the magician could do that. The king therefore would have to go to the magician. Again some are saying that in answer to the in their answer to the second question, some are saying that people most necessary to the king. So to whom he should listen. That was the second question, right? So mm, some are suggesting that he should have the council of ministers. Some are saying that not the council of ministers but the priest means pujari and all, who used to uh, uh, do the rituals in the worship. They are called the priest. A few others, they are saying that the doctors are very important, and some are saying that the soldiers were very important. And to the third questions, some said science is very important. Science is very important. What was the third question? What was the most important thing for him to do? कौन सा काम उसके लिए सही होगा करने के लिए? Then what they replied? The people, they were replying that science is very important. Some are saying again fighting is very important, and some others are saying religious worship is very important. So the answers to his questions were so different. The king therefore not satisfied with them and gave no reward. So what he did, he decided to seek the help of a certain hermit. Hermit means a person who live alone for for a religious matter. Now he decided to go and seek the advice of a certain hermit, that hermit who was widely known for his wisdom. And that hermit, he lived in a wood which he never left, and uh, he only met very ordinary people. So the king, he put off his clothes and put on ordinary clothes, and before he reached the hermit's hut, the king left his horse also, and his bodyguard also, and he went alone. And when the king approaching, when the king uh, went near the gone near the hermit's hut, he saw the hermit, and he was digging the ground in front of his hut. He greeted the king, and he greeted the uh, king, but he did not stop walking, he did not stop digging the ground. The hermit was very old and weak also. As he walked he breathed heavily. He was digging the ground, like he breathed very heavily, not a normal breathing, like like that. The king went up to the hermit and said, I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer three questions. So, how can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? Who are the people I need most? And what affairs are the most important? So, why he went there? To get the answer of his questions. So, these three questions, uh, mm, he put before the hermit, but the hermit did not stop walking. uh, he only listened to the king but did not speak anything. He went on digging, he was digging. He continued his digging. He continued his walking. He continued his work. Now you are tired, the king replied that he was very tired, and he now helped the hermit in digging the ground. Uh, he took the spade, and the king was digging now. The hermit said thanks by giving his spade. Spade means a tool which help in digging the ground. Then he sat down on the ground by giving after giving the spade to the king. uh, he sat on the ground. Now when the king had dug two beds, he stopped and repeated his question. After digging the two beds, he again asked. He stopped digging and he repeated his same questions. But the hermit gave no answer. The hermit, he did not give him any answer, but he stood up and he is stretching out his hand for what? Mm, spade. He was asking spade from the king and said, "You now you can take rest and let me work." He said to the king that he will work now and the king will take rest. But the king did not give him the spade and continued to dig. He did not. He had not given him the spade, and he continued digging. 1 hour passed, then another. Again, the sun went down behind the trees. It was already sunset, and at last the king stuck the pad into the ground. At last, he was keep on asking the uh, hermit so that he should uh, give him the answer of these three questions, but the hermit did not give. He had not given any answer. He had not given him any answer. So mm, the king, he stuck the pet into the ground and he said, I came, and he said that he came, he went there so that he should get the answer. But if he did not know the answer, then the hermit should tell him so that he can return to his home. Now the hermit said, look, someone is coming. The hermit said, look, someone is coming. And uh, my dear students, uh, we will continue this class in the next video. Means I will send you another video, because if I explain the second part also, the first part is already completed. If I start explaining the second part, it will become very long, and it will be difficult to upload also. So I stopped here and I will continue the second part in the next video. Thank you.